Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Gretchen Winters, Director of Marketing for Bursch Travel, and I want to welcome you to another session of Traveling in 2020. Today we have with us John Winters, our account manager with Royal Caribbean, and we're going to talk about cruising. So welcome, John. We're happy to have you here today.
Thanks, Gretchen. I'm happy to be here and share some insights with all of your viewers.
Well, fantastic. So we all know cruising paused back in March, and we're still not back cruising, and it's October. So hopefully, let's talk a little bit about what we anticipate for a return to cruising. Tell us what you know.
Well, what I know is the Center for Disease Control, the CDC, has issued a no-sale order that's in effect through the end of November. So that's kind of the main thing that we're doing is we're waiting to see what they come up with to allow us back. In the meantime, we're getting prepared and hope to sail before the end of the year.
Well, that's great news. I know people are getting very anxious to get on cruise ships and get back out there and start seeing the world. Now, I know and I've read and heard about Royal Caribbean's involvement in putting together a panel of experts to really kind of address COVID, and I think even beyond that. So what can you tell us about that study and what they've done with this panel of experts?
Well, yeah, we put together a healthy sail panel, is what we're calling it. It's a diverse team, global experts. We've got 11 different individuals. They're touching on medical practice and research, infectious disease, biosecurity, hospitality, and maritime operations. So you can see right now in front of you the experts that we have. Governor Mike Leavitt, former governor of Utah, used to be the former Secretary of Health and Human Services under George W. Bush, and that position oversees the CDC. And then we have Dr. Scott Gottlieb, who is a former director of the CDC. So those are the two co-chairs of our panel. And then you can see the rest of the people that are all the medical people there. We don't have our two maritime experts, one from Celebrity Cruise Line, one from Royal Caribbean, that are not pictured here. But my favorite of the rest of the panels is the gentleman in the middle, Dr. Osterholm, because he is from the University of Minnesota. So how can we go wrong if we've got somebody from Minnesota on the panel?
Absolutely, and he's quite a renowned expert. I know I hear him a lot on the radio, you see him a lot on TV, so this really is a top tier group of people. So with all of that and their report that I know is a quite thick report that they put together, what kind of things is Royal Caribbean focusing on? What kind of tiers and processes and protocols will they have once they get back to sailing?
Well, the panel has come up with 64 different procedures that they feel we should focus on. It's about 74 pages that were submitted to the CDC. And to give you an idea of how much more detail we're going in, we're already starting to train crew members, and it's a 2,600 page document that they go through. So we're getting into a lot of detail, but the 5 main areas of focus the first one is testing, screening, and exposure reduction. So just very briefly, for example, everybody before they get on a ship is going to be tested, whether they're a guest, crew, a vendor, somebody who's coming in to fix a slot machine for the day, they're going to be tested. Then we're focusing on sanitation and ventilation. We're focusing on response and contingency plans. Then we're working with our different destinations and excursions to make sure that they meet the same protocols. And then also mitigating the risk for crew members. So all in all, the main thing we're focusing on is to keep our crew, our guests, and the people in destinations that we're traveling to safe and healthy.
Wow, that's got just about everything covered there, which is very comforting, and it knows, you can see there's been a lot of thought put into it. Now, I know Royal Caribbean is very innovative. I mean, come on, they have the ice skating rinks, they have the rock climbing mountain, those are even the things of ships, earlier ships. So with all that innovation and technology, are they doing anything to kind of make the experience on board a little bit smoother with all of these protocols in place?
Well, yeah, as a matter of fact, we came out with a new lifeboat drill, if you will, called the mustard drill. And we actually had this in place prior to COVID-19. We were testing this on our ships in January just to make it a better experience. The interesting parallel to COVID-19 is it works perfectly to help accommodate physical distancing. It used to be everyone would get together at your lifeboat station. You'd be lined up out there for about 45 minutes. You'd be person to person to person and go through the drill. Now we've broken it down to where we use like our Royal Caribbean app or our interactive TV. You watch a safety video. That's the first thing. Then you have time to get to the muster station. So you actually check in with one of our crew members at the actual location where you would go in place of an emergency. And they check you in. They can also check to make sure that you've seen the safety video. And then it's a chance to ask any questions that you might have. And that's all done at the guest's leisure. So it was really designed prior to COVID-19, but it just happens to fall in perfectly with some of the protocols against physical distancing and those types of things. Then,
Well, I was just gonna say, I love that because I always hated that that lifeboat drill where you're just getting settled and then you got to go up and you got to do the lifeboat drill. So this is a plus that came out of it. So that's good to hear.
yeah, absolutely. And, the other thing is that we've got, that's Muster 2.0. It's faster. It's a more personal approach, higher levels of safety. It's a simple 4-step process, no more large crowds. It's added flexibility because the guest does it at their discretion. They just, from the time they get on the ship to before we sail, they have about 4 hours to take care of this. And as I mentioned, it was something we came up with previous to COVID-19. It just happened to fit in with that. Also, our Royal Caribbean app that we have, you can download on your smartphone or device. And the whole thing with that is it's to make things more touchless and quicker. So for example, instead of everybody coming into the terminal in Miami all at the same time, you'll have designated times that you sign up for to arrive. And you can do your check-in actually before you even get to the terminal. You can take your photo, you can do your check-in, you can scan your passport. It makes it so much easier. So you're not waiting and spending a lot of time in the terminal in a crowd. From the time you get out of the cab till you get in your cabin on the ship, about 11 or 12 minutes.
Wow. Again, all these things are so cool just for general cruising. Those are kind of the things that you want to get on board. You want to start having fun. So a lot of good innovations. So now let's talk about people wanting to get back out there and sail. I know that we're hoping to be back by the end of the year. And again, what does that look like? What can people anticipate that are just itching to get back on a cruise ship and get out there and enjoy the world? Where do you think some of those first cruises might sail?
Well, again, my guess is going to be that we're going to start small. We're not going to come back with all 26 ships at the same time. It might be, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 ships. And we're going to have more control over where we go. I think the big thing is we want to, at least in my opinion, when we start cruising, we want to start small so we can show that it's happening. We've got 2 private destinations that I think are going to come into play because we have control over those destinations. The sanitizing, the people, the testing, everything. It keeps it very simple to do. So I think we're probably going to see short cruises, 3-4 night cruises, going to mainly our private island destinations to begin with. But it'll be a big boost to be able to get out there and see that people can cruise. And when we follow the protocols, see that there's nothing that's unexpected that we can't handle.
Yeah, it looks like Coco Cay behind you. I've heard fantastic things about that.
I wish I was there right now.
Yeah, I hear you. Absolutely. Well, and I have heard some things about, been reading about, so like you mentioned, your sister ship in Europe doing some cruising and some other cruise lines, European cruise lines sailing in the Med and visiting destinations. And really with a lot of these protocols in place, I think it can be a really enjoyable experience and not missing out on anything, but again, with all the precautions of making sure that everybody is being safe and doing what they need to do. So as we look forward to this, what can we do? I know when the pause of cruising happened, a lot of people chose to do their future cruise credits. And now I think people are starting to decide, I'm ready to start rebooking and want to take advantage of my future cruise credits. So we're seeing that pick up, and we want to make sure people are not waiting too long to do that, because it's going to start to fill up. Any kind of offers or anything else out there that you can kind of tell people about to encourage them to start thinking it's time to get on those cruises again?
Well, yeah, I mean, the big thing is we want to make sure that people feel confident in planning their vacation. That's why we came up with our Cruise with Confidence program. And what this does is it puts your clients in more control than they've ever had on a vacation package. They can book with us, and they can cancel up to 48 hours prior to sailing for any reason and get a full refund as a future cruise credit. So it really, really puts them in control of their vacation. If something flares up and they don't feel safe going, they can be in control of that. So, and then we give them other options too. You know, if they've got a reservation that's made and they don't feel comfortable cruising at this time, they can do what we call lift and shift. They can lift their vacation and shift it to the same time next year. We've had a lot of people do that. We've also got a price guarantee that's out there as well, so that if you book now and then for some reason prices go down, you can get that new price. If you're outside of final payment, we just do an adjustment on your price. If you're inside final payment, we give you a onboard credit. So it really gives you a lot of flexibility. And the thing that we're seeing is there's a lot of future cruise credits that have been issued because there's all those hundreds of thousands of people that we suspended cruises on, or they canceled their cruise through Cruise with Confidence and have future cruise credits. So we're seeing those start to be redeemed. Especially busy booking time is for Alaska next summer and summer vacations. Right now we have a kids 12 and under sail free for next summer. So we're seeing a lot of activity there. Right now in October, we've got 60% off the second guest. If you're a Crown and Anchor member, past cruiser, we're giving double points, double membership points for anybody that is sailing next year. So it doesn't matter, you could have made your reservation a year ago, you're still going to get double points. But the main thing I want to let your listeners know is that the travel professionals at Bursch Travel are going to be the experts on this. We're going to make sure that all of your travel advisors know all of our protocols in detail, what to expect when they get on the ships, what they expect the ship life to be like, what to expect when they're getting off the ship on an island. All of those things, we're going to make sure we train your travel advisors so that they can advise your clients so that they are very, very comfortable when it comes to make a reservation and know what's going to be expected of them and feel safe on board our ships.
Well, thank you, John. I really appreciate it. I'm really excited to think about cruising shortly, hopefully coming back very shortly. We can get back out there. We can start seeing the world. And I think that people can feel very confident with the protocols and with the board, the Healthy Sail panel that you've put together. So again, thanks for joining us today. And hopefully we'll see you out on the seas somewhere, enjoying a cruise.
Thanks very much.
Have a good day.
We look forward to seeing you on board as well.